Hey guys, it's Melissa and I'm here with another video about health. And I would like to talk to you today about pesticides on your produce and how you can minimize your consumption of those pesticides. So farmers use pesticides logically to ward off pests, insects, and diseases and other things that can be harmful to crops. Most of the pesticides that are used and approved by the Environmental Protection Agency were approved and in use long before extensive research began to show a relationship to pesticide consumption and various chronic diseases and conditions. There is now a large body of evidence that is growing that is showing a relationship between pesticide exposure and different diseases and health problems, like different types of cancer, neurological disorders like Parkinson's, ALS, and Alzheimer's, reproductive problems, birth defects, and a lot of other chronic health conditions. To give you an example, Roundup, which is the most heavily used pesticide in the U.S., contains a compound called glyphosate. Glyphosate has been linked to endocrine disruption and cancer. The simplest way to explain endocrine disruption is to tell you that it basically messes with your hormones and that affects your body at a cellular level. That can cause issues with reproduction, your immune system, your nervous system, and it's a factor in cancer also, so it is a serious issue. Other insecticides have been implicated in affecting the developing brains of children, and pesticide exposure is most dangerous for pregnant women and developing children. So the good news is God has gifted us with an incredible detoxification system in our own bodies. So your organs know how to eliminate toxins from your body. The other thing to think about is that in our modern industrialized society, we are exposed to such a high level of chemicals and toxins that it becomes too much of a burden for your body to get rid of on its own. And that's why we are having so many different problems, or probably one of the reasons we're having so many different problems with our health and with all these autoimmune diseases and all these other issues and cancers and people that are very young and things like that. So the first thing I do is pray over my food, because Jesus himself said that if we take anything poisonous in our body, that it would not harm us. The other thing is I can't just put anything in my body and just say, oh, I'll just do whatever I want and God will just take care of it. We are responsible to take care of ourselves and to do our part. So how can you do your part? Well, first of all, buying organic whenever possible is a really good idea. Now, people wonder sometimes, is there really a difference between organic and conventional produce? And based on my research, there's quite a big difference. You can't just call your farm, nobody can just call their products certified USDA organic. They have to go through a stringent process, and usually it takes years for them to get that kind of certification. Organic produce is grown without using most conventional pesticides or harmful fertilizers. All the substances they use on their produce are regulated, and they're limited to mostly natural-based substances. Organic farmers are only allowed to use like 25 synthetic pesticides. Conventional farmers that grow non-organic produce, however, are allowed to use some 900 synthetic pesticides. So that's quite a big difference. And you have to consider that pesticides are thought to penetrate to the entire plant. So if you say eat like a non-organic apple and you clean it really good and peel it, the pesticide likely has still gone into the fruit itself, so you're still consuming those pesticides. Now, organic produce is more expensive, but there's ways that you can do it on a budget. I personally can't afford to buy everything organic, so I pick and choose where to spend my money on organic. One thing I try to do is to buy organic produce when it's in season, because it's usually about the same price as conventional produce. The other thing that I'm learning to do more is to consult a shopping list, which is created by the Environmental Working Group. Every year they study the USDA's testing of pesticide residues on produce, and they make a list of the produce that has the worst amounts of pesticides, which is called the Dirty Dozen. And they make another list of the 15 produce items that have the least amount of pesticides. So that way you can spend your organic dollars on the produce that usually has the worst pesticides and you don't have to waste your money on produce that normally is pretty clean. Whatever you do, I recommend washing all of your produce, whether it's organic or non-organic, in things that are proven to remove pesticide residue. One of the things that seems to be really effective in the research I've done is to use baking soda. All you need is about a teaspoon of baking soda for every 2 cups of water. Throw your produce in there, let it soak for a minimum of 2 minutes. That's if you're in a hurry, but it is thought to be most helpful if you soak your produce for a good 15 to 20 minutes to properly remove the pesticides. Another method you could use is vinegar. Take a simple, cheap white distilled vinegar, use 1 cup for every 3 cups of water. Some people say you should use straight vinegar, but whatever you do, soak it for about 20 minutes. Whatever pesticide removal method you use, it's important that you rub the fruits and vegetables, either using a soft bristle produce brush or your own hand for a while under water to get the pesticides off. I also recommend peeling your produce because a lot of the pesticides are in the peel. I routinely peel all my apples, my carrots, and my cucumbers if they are not organic or if I haven't had the time to wash them properly. In my comments, I put a link to the EWG's list, the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, to help you shop organic and to save and spend wisely. And I've included a website where you can learn about cleaning methods for your produce, some of the things I've talked about. And I've also put links to some of the resources I got my information from if you want to dig a little deeper. So I hope that you found this video helpful. As always, please leave me comments, questions. If you have information to add, I'm always open to that. And have a blessed night. Thank you.